From Anshe Sfard Beth El Emeth Congregation, it's time to take 10 Minutes for Torah with Rabbi Joel Finkelstein.
Welcome to our discussion of Parshat Lech Lecha, Why Choose the Jews? In Parshat Lech Lecha, we have the beginnings of the chosenness of the Jewish people. One might argue that at Sinai, the Jewish people were chosen as a whole. With Abraham in Parshat Lech Lecha, there's the choosing of Avraham himself. Vayomer Hashem al Avram, Lech Lecha me'artzecha mimoladtecha mibeit avicha el ha'aretz asher arecha. That God said to Avraham, go from your land, from your homeland, from your father's home, to the land which I will show you. I will make you a great nation, and I will bless you, and you will be a blessing, and I will bless those who bless you, I will curse those you curse. All the families of the earth, kol mishpachot ha'adamah, will be blessed through you. These are the very first words of God to Avraham, and this is where we learn that God, in a sense, has chosen Avraham. The question is why? Why did God choose the Jews? In the words of the famous poem, how odd of God to choose the Jews. What's going on? Why was Avraham chosen above all the other people of the earth? To strengthen the question, we do seem to find why other figures were chosen. Well, in the story of Noah last week, it says right there, that Noah was chosen by God because you were more righteous than all others. It doesn't say that with Avraham. We don't know why Avraham was chosen. Why was Moses chosen? We have three stories. He saves a Jew from his oppressor. He rebukes feuding Jews. He saves the daughters of Midian. Surely he is one to be chosen. He grew up in the house of Paro. But what about Avraham? Why is Avraham chosen? One approach is what we can call the background approach. That if we look at his background, midrashically, we can uncover what the true origins of the chosenness of Avraham was. After all, you have a midrash, or a Gemara in the Darim, that speaks of the Avraham choosing God. Avraham chose God. God didn't choose us. Avraham chose God. At the age of either 3 or 52 or 48, Avraham recognized his creator. Hikir et kono. There's a midrash, in Midrash Yashirim, other sources, mentions that Avraham knocked down the idols of his father, and he was thrown into the fiery furnace, and he was saved. That Avraham went through the test of fire to be chosen to show his loyalty to God. He was the one who discovered God, as the Rambam Maimonides described, that he philosophically discovered the idea of God. That's what I call the background approach. That he was chosen because of his background. He was chosen because of something that he did as a youth, and that made him worthy. Then there's the afterthought approach. That after God already chose Avraham, it says afterwards in next week's Parshat Vayera, that what? That I know that God, that Avraham ki dativ laman asher yitzaveh banav vebeito acharav v'shamaru derech Hashem lasot tzedakah u'mishpat. That God says that I know that He will command His children and His household after Him, and they will follow the path of Hashem to do righteous and justice, in order to bring on Avraham that which was said to him. So in other words, that I know that not so much that Avraham has done something already, but I know that he will do the right thing. He'll be a great dad. He'll be the incredible teacher, and he will make a family that can be a pride on the face of the earth. It's the afterthought approach. It's something that's going to happen later. There's another approach in which Avraham was only tentatively selected. He was said, Avraham, would you like to go to Israel? I said, yeah. How about, what if there's a famine? I'll still accept God. What if you had to bring your son on the altar as a sacrifice? Will you still do it? And once Avraham passed the test, then he was chosen. The real chosenness is not at the beginning of Parshat Lech Lecha, but at the end of Parshat Vayera, when Abraham is willing to offer his son after he had gone through so many indignities, no children, all kinds of suffering. Then God says, now I've chosen you. Now I truly, atayadati, now I know that you are truly the one with whom there will be a great covenant. However, I'd like to offer yet a final approach. Another approach, which I believe could be what it's really all about. It's often pointed out in my Yeshivat Har Etzion, many of the different teachers there. The fact is, the Torah, in the text of the Torah, fails to give us any information about Avraham before he was born. Yes, we affirm the Midrash that all kinds of great things happen in Avraham's youth. But apparently that wasn't the real reason why he was chosen. Surely that is true. Surely he was great. Surely he was worthy of being chosen. But that's not how chosenness works. And for this, we turn to a pasuk in Parshat Vaychanan where Hashem says, God chose you because you're holy people, not because you're a numerous people, you're not, but rather out of God's love for you. Now, why did God love us? So the Ramban says that the Torah doesn't explain why he chose us. Ki hanivchar la'ohev hayadua lizbol et oavo b'chol haba alav mimenu. Because you know who you love? You love someone who can put up with you. You love someone who can endure, who can make it through. You love someone who loves you back. God chose Avraham because he knew that this would be a lasting relationship. Are we better than some other nation? Absolutely not. We have no idea whether that's true or not. We don't know that to be true. God chose Avraham and he said, you know what? I'm going to take one family and I love him and I pick this person and we're going to have a reciprocal relationship and he's going to put up with me throughout all of history. And with that, we will have a stable relationship no matter what happens. And I'm going to bestow many kindnesses on him. I will love him. And when I love him, he'll love me back. And let's see if through this loving relationship, we can create a bond. God tried to relate to humanity through punishment. God tried to relate to humanity through commandments. And then God tried through showering of love. What if I shower a people with love, a family with love? What will happen? And our response was, we responded back with love. We made a bond that despite the tumultuous relationship we've had with God, despite the fact that this marriage with God has had its real ups and downs, but because God says, you're willing to put up with me, I'll put up with you, and we'll make it through together. If you think about it, every relationship of love, when we choose a spouse, we choose a good friend, there is a rationale to it, of course, because of this and that and the other thing. And it's also an irrational choice. Ultimately, why did God choose the Jews? It was odd. But ultimately, it was an act of love. And an act of love, at some level, is an irrational act. But it becomes rational when justified over thousands of years, when the Jews stuck with God and God stuck with us. That's the glue that keeps our marriage together. I want to thank you for joining us here at the Anshe Sfar Beth Elameth congregation. Our discussion of Parshat Lech Lecha. You can refer to our archives for previous discussions. I look forward to studying with you in the weeks to come with God's help. Thanks for joining us here at the Anshe Sfar Beth Elameth. Thank you.
This has been 10 Minutes for Torah with Rabbi Joel Finkelstein.